As a first-time home buyer, the resale value of your property 5, 7, 10 years down the road is often an afterthought. We're focused on the fixtures, the lighting, the paint, the appliances, but all of those things can be changed. The resale value of your home and these three factors that cannot be changed that really determine what that resale value is cannot be changed. And they are something that you need to consider. And today I'm going to go over three really important aspects that help to make up the resale value of your home and how, when you are purchasing your first home and making that decision, what you should be looking for. So number one purchase that decreases your resale value is buying the wrong location. So if we're talking about townhomes specifically, because we are a townhome builder, what does that look like for you? Buying in the wrong location can mean two things. Number one, you are in the wrong community. Either the community does not have the required amenities, it does not have what a buyer is looking for, close to parks, to pathways, to outside space. Is there an HOA or a community space you have access to? Is there part of that community that has enjoyment, and are you close enough to the required amenities like grocery, gym, fitness, all those? Number two is inside of the community, right? So if you've chosen the right community to buy or to build in, where are you within that community? In a townhome specifically, you have your townhome complex, and there are really high value townhome complexes, and there are ones that don't sell as much, and we'll get into those. But within the wrong location. So what's your proximity to schools? Choosing your unit within your townhome community, within the greater community, also has a really important decision, because within your townhome community, are you in a unit that backs onto another unit and you're looking directly into someone else's unit? Or do you have a unit that might look over a park or an environmental reserve or a green space? Those have very different costs associated with your resale value. Now, as a first-time homebuyer, it's really easy to think that budget is the most important factor, and obviously it is a primary factor when it comes to being able to be qualified for a mortgage. But something that I thought about, and I was very fortunate with when I bought my first townhome, was there were many things that we didn't like, but one of the things that we did really well was we chose an exterior unit that had a view that was at least down the complex and not looking directly into someone else's unit. And we had a view that backed onto away from the development. So if you think about, usually most townhomes are a square. If you're interior, that can have an impact. If you're exterior on the outside and you're looking outside of the development and you might have a view, that has an impact as well. And so there were very few units within this entire townhome complex that didn't have a view that was looking directly into another house. And we made the decision to buy an outer unit that had more windows, more natural light, and that backed onto, at the time it was just a non-built space. It ended up turning into a commercial daycare. And so that came with its own challenges, but I was overlooking a parking lot, and that daycare was busy 2 times during the day, which was drop off and pick up. And for us, it meant that we were able to sell our townhome in a very difficult buyer's market when there were many other townhomes in that complex on the market, because we had one of the more desirable units. Did we take a bit of a hit in terms of price point and as much as we wanted? Yes, but that was just the market we were in, and it was a buyer's market. What we did within the unit was obviously made some changes interior, which was nice, but the thing that made the most value, the most impact, was those things that we couldn't change, right? Which was, we had a bit of a view at the front and a bit of a view at the back. We were not looking directly into someone else's unit, which was highly, highly valuable. We didn't have proximity to pathways. We didn't have proximity to outdoor space. So that obviously lowered, but that was the townhome community that we had. We didn't have control over outside of that. And so that is the number one factor, which is buying the wrong location. Don't make that mistake, right? Look for a townhome that is in a wonderful community, that has walking paths, that has naturescapes, that has nice places that you would be able to go outside and enjoy. Now, within that community, look for a townhome community that's built with space in mind, right? It's not just thrown together. And unfortunately, some of the townhomes communities they're building these days, even in Livingston where we are building, they are stacked on top of each other. It's right into a parking lot. There's no meaningful outdoor space. You're built right along a really squished, busy corridor, right next to a condo development, right next to another townhome development, and across from another townhome development. We were very intentional at Callamore, where I work, in the site that we chose, which is we back right onto an environmental reserve, right? We have private backyards, private outdoor space. There's a park across the street. There's a future school site across the other side of the street. So again, be intentional about the right location where you're buying, because number one, you can't change that. Number two, that will impact your quality of life every single day. And number three, when it comes to resale, that's going to hold the most value. If you are built right across from a school, that is a highly, highly sought after property. If you back onto a green space where you have privacy and views and your kids can go to the park across the street, that has high value because that's a high quality of life. Your resale value is going to hold. Number two is bad floor plan design. This is something that is an absolute resale killer. Bad floor plan design means that it feels boxed in. There's no open flow. The kitchen might be awkward. There's no private outdoor space. I mean, I'm in one of our townhome rentals right now, and you can see that it is very big. It is very spacious. I'm sitting at the kitchen island. The kitchen is behind me, but we have a really big open flow, right? They're not cramped. They're not tiny. It doesn't feel like you're constricted. And that's one of the most important things when it comes to either condo or townhome living and not single family is being in this unit and feeling like you have space. And if there is any way that you can buy a townhome that feels like a single family home, that's a huge win. So that's a really important factor to consider is bad floor plan design, right? How many bedrooms? What are the size of the bedrooms? That's not something you can change, right? When it comes to resale value, the more bedrooms you have, the larger the buyer group that you're appealing to, right? If you go for a dual floor plan master as an example, 2 bedrooms, you're very limited in terms of the number of people you're buying for, likely someone who's single or maybe roommates or whatever that situation is. But typically the more bedrooms means that you're opening it up to a larger buyer pool, because the more bedrooms means the larger the family that can fit in the space and the better off you are. So that's another really important factor to consider when you are making your purchase decision is from a resale value perspective, what is this floor plan look like? What does this unit look like? And how is this going to hold value? And the more bedrooms, the more open, the better the floor plan design, the better the resale value will show up. And number 3 is the build quality. I've talked about this before, but build quality is obviously very, very important. If you buy from a builder that has been known to have really poor quality reviews, and there are many reviews that you can find online, I won't name any builders in Calgary, but there are builders that have very low reviews from people who are not happy with their purchase. Building quality, building materials is a highly, highly important factor when it comes to resale, because people want to make sure that when they're buying a home, which is most people the largest asset they have, they want to make sure they have peace of mind. They want to make sure they're protected. They want to make sure they have certainty in what they're buying. And that means durable exteriors, right? Building with hardy board means that that is going to be far more durable. It's going to last. It's not going to get ripped up if a bad weather event or hailstorm rolls through. Something else to consider is cheap fixtures and cheap materials and external. A lot of times when you walk into these properties, you can see things that might look really nice, right? But is the shower head gonna fall off? Are the door handles gonna pull out, right? What are some of these things that are really low quality that you can try and avoid? And again, there is a lot of access to information online about various builders and about reputation. And that's why reviews are really important, so that you can take the time to read the reviews. You can take the time to understand what this builder is all about and what the quality is, and ask those questions when you are buying or building. What is this built with, right? What did they use for the siding, right? What is the framing? What is the insulation value? All these factors really make up important resale value. And so when you are buying your first home or buying a home in general, think about these 3 things that you cannot change that will have a really big impact on your resale value.